Welcome back. In this video, I will show you how you can quickly create a page layout from scratch and we won't be importing any content. So I just wanted to go over some of the things that you have to be careful about when you're creating a new page layout. And we'll discuss about some of the options that you have, like overriding page options or what the page options are that are available to you, and we'll get into a brief discussion about the brand new Fusion Builder options or Fusion Builder layouts that are included in the Avada 6.2. So let's get started with that, and what I'll do is I'll just create a new page. Okay, and we'll just click on Fusion Builder, or you can click on Fusion Builder Live, whichever way is desirable for you. And new sample. Quick pause. I hope you're enjoying my videos about professional web design using the Avada theme. Actually, these videos are a part of a very detailed video course that I created for Udemy. So if you would like to explore these topics in more detail and ask questions, check out my course on Udemy. The link with the discount coupon is in the description of the video. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do that because a lot more content is coming your way. Let's get back to the video. Page. So when you create a page and for example, you publish it, what you'll see is that there is a new URL that gets generated, and this URL is very important from a search engine perspective. So you want to make sure that your URL has the right keywords in it and it correctly describes what this page will be about. For example, if I was going to write about a product, it is important that the URL has the product name, for example, or whatever attributes are important are contained inside of the URL. So that being said and out of the way, we'll get started. The first thing you look at when you are creating a new page is the page template. So what kind of a page template do you need? So you can go with a bunch of them available, and let's say we'll just go with 100% width. That's the default layout with that, like the home page, and we will just update it. And now we have a page with page attribute selected, and we can add in a bunch of containers. So pretty much what we want to discuss here is what we are going to do in the Fusion Builder section. We can add containers, and we'll also discuss some of these options that are available, like page options and Fusion options, Fusion page options. So like I showed you in the previous video that you can import a pre-built page. We are not gonna do that. We are going to add a container. So before even we add a container, the first question to ask is, do we want a slider? If we want a slider, you can go ahead and you can select what kind of slider do you want. So you can say slider revolution and select a slider. Like right now we have only one. We can create a new one if we want, or use the existing one. So we'll just go with the existing one, or actually we'll just go without a slider. So we don't have any slider, and we'll just use a container, and we just added a container, and it will be a full width container. So we'll add a column. So that's how you have a container and you have a column, and we'll just see how this looks and what are the things that we would like to do and what are the design elements we would like to add. So just viewing the page. Okay, so now you can see that there is a title bar that is you can see, and the new sample page is the title of the page, and there is a header setup that this page is displaying a header. Now let's say we want to add 3 columns in here and some blurbs and some text. So what we are going to do for that is first, let's say we just have a full width image that we want to display. So here we'll just add an element and search the image that we want to display. Okay, and we'll just do an image, and for the image we will just select something from our media library that is wide. So we will go with let's say, which one is a wide image? Let's say we have, okay, this one is 1800 by 1078. So okay, let's just insert that into the page. So that is that, and the page is going to show this image right here. So I will just refresh this and see how this image looks like on my page. And okay, so I have a nice image. Now notice that it doesn't it is not the container background, it is just the image which is a part of the page. So that is a full nice image, big image. Typically we want to reduce the size of these images that we display at the top, unless you want to make your website graphics oriented. And the reason for that is the images have to be downloaded on the client side, so they can make the page a little slower. And there is also a lot of theory about what gets displayed when the page gets rendered. So the content here, like in this fold, will have the maximum impact on a perspective or a potential client. So that is something to keep in mind. But whatever way you want to go about it. So let's say that's all we wanted to do, and the next thing we want to do is add columns. So we'll add a 1 by 3rd, 1 by 3rd, and 1 by 3rd column. And in this column we'll just delete the 2, and then we'll start adding stuff. So we can add maybe icon. So we can add an icon here, and the icon could be anything. Basically these icon things are pretty nice, so you can select choose you can select or search for icons that you're looking for. So for example, if I want a currency, so there are some currency icons available here that I can select. So I can just select something like that and just save. So now I have a currency element that you can edit and change various things about it. So icon size, I'm gonna make that big, so you can do that. And you can do a flip horizontal on the icon, you can do a rotate if you'd like, you can do a spinning icon. So I'll make the spinning, yes, and I don't want to link it to anything. And okay, so about the design, there are a bunch of stuff, bunch of things that you can change, like the color. So icon color, I'm gonna make it this color, for example. So I'll just inspect and make sure what my colors look like. So for example, I will pick this color right here. Okay, so if I want to, or something more like a standard color, I don't want to go in the RGB stuff. Okay, like that. So I will select that, and okay, so this is the color I want to go with, hash 182234. So we'll go here, edit page, and we will put that color in. Okay, and icon background, we can say default hover color. We can say the same, so we don't want it to change color when we are hovering. Maybe make it a little transparent, so we'll do that. And icon background color, hover color, you can see that there are so many options. You can make the border transparent if you want, like that. I just want to show you what the stuff that you can do with an icon. And right now I think it's displayed in a circle, so there is a option for that too, that you can turn on and off. So margin, icon color, hover, background. Okay, so maybe I can background color, I'll make it transparent, and then it'll be transparent, so you won't see the background behind that. So if I update, and now I look at the sample page, so we'll go here and refresh it. Now you see that there is a spinning icon that is available, and that is the hover background color that I have. That's why it's showing. But that is the kind of stuff that you can do. And then you can also replicate these columns across. So I just wanted to show you what the stuff that you can do. I don't want to go with an icon. Instead, I want to go with a image. So I can do an image, upload something, and then we can use it. So here we can just maybe use these icons, maybe, or basically any image. So here I'll do going with a 1/3 column. So this is a big image for that, but I'll just use that one. So here we are displaying that at the top of the column, and then we are going to use a title element. So title element is right here. It gives you the option to select what kind of a heading it'll be. So we can say our okay, and then for the design we'll just say center aligned and make it a h2, and we can also control font size and family, but we'll just leave it at default. And then we can add a bunch of text. So let's grab some text. Okay, so I will grab some text from some page, right, which has a nice section. So we will grab some text right here. It could be like a filler text or something. So okay, I will just add that much. So we'll just copy this text and we'll go to edit page where we were. Okay, so here, and okay, so that is our service one. Now we want a text block because we want to display some text. So then we can just put in some text. And by the way, you don't have to separate these out with different elements like a heading and a text. All of that you can do that in a text block, but a lot of people prefer that you use different elements. So that's why I wanted to show you how you can do that. So now I want a button. So you can search for a button right here. There it is. And we can just put some, I'll just put a hash sign here, and button text, I'll just say read more. Okay, so that is done, and we'll just update the page and see how it looks. So we have a top static image, and then our service one looks like that. Maybe our heading needs to reduce in size a little bit, and there needs to be some more spacing. So I can show you how you can achieve that. So let's say our service one, first off, you can change that to h3 maybe, and save that. And also we saw that this read more could be center aligned, so we'll edit that and see where the alignment option is, and go ahead and update it and see what it does. Maybe we were also talking about some spacing. Okay, so the content here must also be center aligned, so that will look good. So what I will do here is make sure that my content is center aligned as well. So we can select everything and just align center like that and just update it. Heading, I believe, is center aligned already, just in case. No, it's not. So oh, it is title alignment is center. So I didn't have to do that, but anyways I did it. So now if I refresh, you will see that the content moves nicely towards the center. Our service one is reduced in size, and maybe we want to have a little more space under this image. So what we can do here is we can add a spacer right here under the image, or we can also add some spacer under the column. So any way you want, we can go with a column here. So for doing that, we'll just edit the column and go to the design and put some margin under after. So we'll say 20 pixel like that, and just say save. You can do more if you'd like, or however you want to go about it. So now we'll see what happens. Okay, so you can see that this space has increased slightly, but you can do more if you want, and you can style this text in different ways. You can put spans, whatever makes it work for you. So now that you have this column, you can simply make it 3 columns and change the images that you have. So you can edit it and maybe select something else. So I'll select something else here, and always important to go with a similar sized image so it gets resized properly and everything aligns. So that is a very important consideration to make sure that your design looks good. Everything should be aligned in the same way. So we'll go with that one and save. And here we will say okay, so that goes to our authors, and this one we'll just change and make it our publications. Okay, so that's that, and we'll just update it and see how the page looks like. Okay, so I have a full width image at the top, and I have a new sample page, header displayed, and then we have a bunch of stuff like that. Now what we want is another container where we display like a full width image and some interesting like subscribe or something like that. So what we can do is just add another container, and we will go with a library container, and because we have a bunch already, maybe we can use a subscribe box right here. So here it is, a subscribe box, and it says subscribe to my newsletter. So what will happen is it's gonna start showing a subscribe box right after this one right there, just in a few seconds. So then we'll move on and work on our next section, and here maybe we can display some text in a nice style, or we can do 2 columns with an image on one side and a bunch of text on the other side, just like this. So what we'll do, so here is the 3 column idea that they have, pretty slick. You can do something like that. You can get a whole bunch of ideas from their sample layout, so that's pretty neat. You can just do like a 2 column layout. So here I will just add another container, and here we'll have 2 columns, and this column will have it could have a Google map, it could have a counter circles, it can have all these things. So it can have maybe image on the left hand side, and I'll select something from my media library. So you can select this, or something with a more vertical, like this orientation is good. All right, so we'll just save that, and then we can add a bunch of text. So we'll just add a text block right here, or like let's say it's a fact section, so you can also say toggles. So we'll just explore the toggle element, and we can add a bunch of toggles like and then we can just add some text, some random text that okay. So we'll just go back, and okay, so there's a bunch of text, so it's just some filler text. So save, and we can just for question 2 we'll just have a question 2. Okay, and for question 2, we don't want it expanded. Open by default, no. So everything is open by default, no. I will just make the open for default 1, yes. And that will, like, you can also style this toggle in the way you want. So you can change these colors, font sizes, stuff like that. So I have a toggles on the left hand side and some image on the right hand side. Also, when you have image elements like that, you can put various styles in, and you can do a bunch of stuff with them, like animate them and do like funky stuff like that. So here I added a bunch of images, and I also added a section like that. So that's what it is. So it would be nice if we can add some spacing at the top. So what we can do is just come here and just add some margin and padding in our container. So here, if we go to the design, we will have margins. So you can say 40 pixels, and you can say 40 pixels, and you can define some padding. So you can say 10 pixels, 10 pixels, 10 pixels, and you can say 10 pixels. Okay, so now I think it should add some spacing up top, and then you can also add spacing if you'd like in the section itself. So you can also put spacers up top over here. So if you refresh now, you see that there is some spacing, and I think that this image needs to move down a little so it looks centered relative to the content on the left. So what I'll do is I'll put a spacer in here. So it's called a separator in Avada. Okay, like that. And we can just go with a no style one and save it, and then move it up. So also you can specify in the design section how much space you're looking for. So maybe 40 pixels might be it from the top. So if I update it, and then we can just refresh this page, and we should see this moving a little down, which it did. So now it looks much better. Maybe it should be centered, so we can move it further down. So let's inspect it and see where exactly how much space and how it looks like. So you can see that, okay, if I expand this column, here's the separator. Okay, and I was looking for the height of the separator. So image frame, so right there is my separator. So let's say if we make it from 40 to 70 or 80, that might look better. So if we want to go with a 80 pixels, that will do it for us. So in our scenario, we'll just make it 80. So go to the design and make it 80. Okay, so we'll save that change, and after that we want to add another container, and in this container we'll just do a blog post content. So just like that. All right, great. So we'll just update, and our new sample page is ready in a few minutes. So you can see how you can do interesting layouts like this very quickly using the Avada theme. Now you can add this page to the menu, or link this page, or pretty much whatever you want to do with the page. But it's a nice layout and pretty standard, and it's an interesting way to display stuff. So all that stuff is pretty nice and dandy. You can also edit in the Fusion Builder Live, just like I showed to you. So that's pretty nice. And now we'll talk about some of the options that you have on the page. So the option you have on the page is the Fusion page options, and they are displayed if you scroll down in the section. So I'd like to briefly go over all of them. Layout. So layout is a new option that got added to the Fusion page options. It is actually a Fusion builder. This is something new that started showing up over here. So if you go and open that in a new tab, what you will see that Fusion builder can define layouts now. So you can define a Fusion builder and uh, define the layouts that your pages will follow and the rules that your pages will follow. So for example, the pages here are all set to comply with this design. So they display a header, they display a page title bar, so PTB is page title bar, then they have the content and then the footer. So this is a global way to control the pages or to control the options for your layout. So again, if you want to manage the conditions, you have control over that. So you can say specific pages, or this control is not gonna display page title bar, for example. If I don't want to display a page title bar in some cases, I can come here, and right now you can see front page is not displaying a title bar and all other pages are. But I can also choose, for example, new sample page is not going to display a title bar, so exclude will have this page. So you can configure and manage these conditions, is what I wanted to show you. But we do want to display a title bar, so you can just turn it on like that. And okay, going back, so you understand what this layout option is. It is a Fusion builder, theme builder option. Header is something you can override for a page. So for example, if I view this page and I don't want to display the menu here, let's say it was a landing page for a Facebook ad, I don't want to display the menu here, but I want to utilize the space for my content. You can change the display header to no, and it'll stop displaying the header area for your site. You can also, like, once you do that, everything is basically gone. So no logo, no page title, no menu. I think page title bar will still be there because it's configured to be there. Yeah, so page title bar is directly what's being displayed. No logo or no header. Okay, so we'll put it right back as it was and look at some of the other options. For example, if you want to make a page and change any of this options, then you have the ability to do that. If you want to change the background color, for example, if you want to change the mobile header background color, if you want to change what menu gets displayed, instead of the default author main menu, you can select maybe another menu for this page. So you can override these options for this page. Sliders, we have already discussed what kind of slider you want to use on this page. So once you do that and select a slider, it will add a box like we have been seeing for our home page, where you can put a slider, revolution, layer, fusion, elastic, whatever slider you want to go with. Page title bar, we just saw what the page title bar does here, but we cannot override this because it displays that it has used a page TB in the theme builder, Fusion builder option, like the one that I just showed you right here. So the page title bar is displayed as a part of page configuration. Unless you go over there and configure it to be off, which we can, then it won't take effect. So that is what the page title bar is. You can also choose to display like breadcrumbs if you'd like, or no breadcrumb. You can override the header styles, and you can change the backgrounds that this title bar has. So you can select the different image and put a different background image. Instead of these books, you will start seeing something else. Content will give you like padding, for example, how much space should be from the top to this page, and right now they're just defaulting to whatever is set up in the theme by default, or whatever this demo layout that I'm using had by default. So if you want to override that, override the padding, override the margins, you can play around with it. Sidebars is you can add sidebars to your page, and the sidebars could be in any of these areas. You can say select sidebar 1, you can select a different sidebar area, and you can create these sidebar areas as well. So if you go to the theme options, we'll just go to theme options in Avada. And there is a sidebar section here. So if you go to the sidebar section, then there are a bunch of sidebar options, the same ones that you add, the same ones that you have on the page. So basically the sidebar options you can override on a page basis. And where are the sidebars? The sidebars in the appearance and widget section. So I'll just open that in a new tab. And here are the sidebars, like the sliding bar widget or the footer widget or the whatever widget. So you can add a new widget area like that. So it's just like adding a new sidebar. So I'll just call it a new sidebar. Okay, and my new sidebar is now there, just like that. So I just added a new sidebar, and then I can select that sidebar from I'll have to refresh this page, so the sidebar gets read by this page. So I can select my sidebars, and then I have to put widgets in the sidebar in this area because it's a widgetized area. But the options for the sidebar I can choose from here. So the sidebar 1 that displays on the right for my full width page, I can select a new sidebar right here. And then there are a bunch of options, like if you want 2 sidebars, remove sidebars. So I will just say whatever the default is, I'll just remain the default because I don't want to change anything. Footer, we already saw how you can create a footer. Currently, again, we are set up in the theme builder for Fusion Builder theme builder options to be a global footer. So all of our pages display a common footer. Oh, I think I went over this. So let's go back in the Fusion Builder theme builder section, and what you will see is the page layout here is the footer is selected, and you'll have to manage the condition and exclude that to have a custom footer. So that's what you want to do if you want to create a different footer for this page. So that is pretty much it. The last one is the import and export. So you can import and export pages in a JSON format as well if you want. So save page options, all the options on the page, you can enter a name for it, for the JSON file basically, and select exactly what the options you want to export, and then export page options. It will basically export that page options in a JSON file, just like that. So once you have it, you can use it and import it on different pages, just to provide consistency. Remember, the key to good web design is consistency. So if you have a consistent look and feel across your pages in your website will really stand out and look good. So that is what they are trying to do. What Theme Fusion is trying to do with their elements, with their designs, to make things consistent and give you options to give you more control over individual elements. So that is all I wanted to show you and have a quick discussion with you. You can see how quickly we can create effective page layouts with the Avada theme, and really you can build very professional looking layouts in a few minutes. So in the next video, we'll cover some more of the Avada theme, and we'll talk about. If you have any questions regarding this or the page layouts or the page options, feel free to comment in the comment section, and I will be happy to get back with you as soon as I can. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time.